Hey guys, this is Tombox,
Yo, what's up, guys? Jaquan here.
and we have a very, very special guest. Deserves the double very because, first of all, I have the honor of inviting the world's strongest Sprite player, also who has earned the most prestigious title, world champion, DKP, Dinh Khang Pham.
DKP.
Welcome.
Welcome, DKP.
Yo, what's up, guys? Hello. Happy to be here.
No, I'm really glad I got you here, and I'm really happy that you're making the time for us. So, how are you? How are you feeling right now?
Oh, I feel great, guys. Finally, you know me from Yu-Gi-Oh! Finally, world champ. World champ.
That's like
Congratulations.
a crazy title to have. I mean, we'll get into some Yu-Gi-Oh questions later, but has like the whole the world champion title settled in for you yet? I mean, it's been a couple weeks now, right?
It's not even just the
Oh,
world champion title. It's the first world champion.
That's right. It's gonna be
The
forever.
first.
Worked as
The
number
first.
one of the number one. Right. So yeah, how?
Yeah, it hasn't been that long. It's like roughly 9 days. So yeah, not even that long ago. It settled in like after almost a week afterwards.
Okay.
So yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
But does it actually feel that different for you? Like, considering that you were, like, even before the world champion title, you were already known to be, like, one of the best players, if not one of the best, like, the best player of Lorcana, with one of the most decorated records of, the entire season. Like, is there a big difference between, now and then?
Yeah, definitely. So first, I'm a super competitive player, right? So you know me, and being one of the best is cool, but I strive to be the best, or like at least from the title. And yeah, I just really wanted to win the worlds, and also because of this. Nice card.
Oh,
Graded
wow.
10. What's that? CGC, right?
Like, yeah, CGC, exactly, pristine 10, and I really wanted this card so bad, and yeah, it means a lot to me. Like winning this world champ title
That's
was
actually-
so much
time.
work, so much dedication went to this, and means so much for me. And yeah, I actually right now don't really care that much about being the best or so, but just having the trophy, having the card here, it just feels nice,
Just a good
It just
milestone
pay off.
to have, right?
Yeah.
Something to strive for, and you definitely hit that. You put in the work for that.
I mean, this essentially just solidified everything that you put in. It like put a milestone for you, essentially. Yeah, it's nice to have. Okay, so I've got a series of hot, grueling questions for you, most of which people are afraid to ask, but we kind of started it easy. But there's a lot of stuff that we're kind of curious about. We'll go from the experience of going to Worlds, we're going to the Worlds gameplay, some stuff in there that, we kind of want to get a little bit more detail in, and then we even got some rapid fire personal questions that we want to throw at you, just to kind of mix it up a little bit. But let's talk about the experience of going to Worlds. Like, you got to go to Disney World, right? It all happened there.
Yes.
So I want to know what was available aside from like being able to compete at the World Seed. You get to get the goodie bag. It has all those whole new world and all those other things. What else did they actually give you to go to Worlds? Like what? Like I want to hear the tea here.
Yeah, so we got basically the goodie bag, as you said. There was a lot of stuff in there. Let me show you some cool things.
Oh, little show and tell.
Okay, let's take
Love
a
to
look.
see it.
Let's take
All
a
right.
look.
So first, we have a branded bottle.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's actually not the stickers on the shell is
Oh,
actually
that's the
branded.
shell.
Yeah, that's the entire shell. So that's really cool, right? And imagine running around. So there are only 28 of these balls in existence, right?
Wow.
Or maybe more because of staff, but not many. And just running around with that in the venue, huge
It's
flex.
already a big flex.
I got the bottle. I'm a pro. Oh,
This
backpack.
one is something I will rock. The
That's
backpack.
cool. Especially, imagine
Well,
seeing
again, 28.
DKP at the airport just wearing that.
I mean, the backpack alone is like over 1K. So
Oh wow.
yeah, there are only 28 in existence, so it's kind of expensive. A notebook which I actually won't use. Feels wasteful. Maybe with
Yeah.
a pencil that I can erase. But
Well,
yeah,
it'd be nice to
as
maybe
world
like
champ.
on like very, very large events to kind of just, start to jot things down, right? That'd be cool.
Yeah, probably. Then the playmat, I don't want to unpack it right now. I unpacked once and it was really difficult to put it back in.
Okay.
About that playmat, actually, is the foiling very similar to the Rapunzel and Cinderella playmats?
No, much better.
really?
Much better. It's like it's the foiling is like the Baymax actually.
Oh.
It's really gorgeous. You know what? For you guys, I will unpack it.
Oh, there we go. First is exclusive
Guys, hit
look
the like
here.
button, hit subscribe.
Actually, it's not exclusive, but like there were multiple people who already unboxed it. I unboxed it yesterday in my stream too.
Well, there's only 28 of these as well, right?
Let's take a look at. Oh, okay. They foiled up the logo. They have shine everywhere.
Oh, that's
anywhere
beautiful.
there's sparkle. Wow,
Oh wow, it's like rainbow foiling.
Look at the big pieces.
that's really epic. I would get scared. Oh, even Jasmine's hair.
Oh, that's cool.
Yes.
Everything's foiled.
Yes.
Crazy.
I will never ever play on it. It looks way too crazy.
Yeah.
It's too expensive to play on.
Oh, it's not even that.
Sometimes
but,
I even take my Cinderella mat to set champs.
Yeah, see, like I don't have mind playing on it because of the monetary value. It's just the foiling looks like it could scratch easily. Like because the
Yeah.
foilings is so shiny and so big. If you put the fingernail on it, I think it will
It'll
just
just
dent
scrape.
it. So I don't
Yeah.
want to use it.
Well,
Would you
it's-
consider
it's
framing it?
similar to like the
yeah,
the leather binders and deck boxes where they scratch so easily.
Yes, we got them too.
Hmm.
So we got these kind of stuff. But where is the most important thing? There.
The hat.
Oh, the bucket hat.
Bucket hat.
I thought you were gonna go to your
Bucket hat.
trophy. I thought you were gonna point to your trophy. Like, oh yeah, the most important thing.
Reaches over
This
for
is
his
the most
trophy,
important.
but takes the Well, that was the thing. I was like,
No,
the
no.
bucket hat was requested like so many times by one of the casters, I believe, right, Din?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
And the funny thing is, this is not even for competitors. This is the +1 bag. Was inside the +1 bag, so we
Oh,
competitors
okay. So
didn't even
you
get
were
it.
allowed to bring a +1 with you.
Yes. We all had a +1. So yeah, of course the trophy. But do you realize something?
Do I
Is it
realize
scratched
So
already?
there's always a quiz right now that I'm asking people. Huh?
there's 2 badges on it? Is that what the question is?
Oh,
What-
that is my DLC trophy. It fits in there.
That's what it was.
I was like, wait a minute,
Funny.
where's the room for the Mickey?
I'm like, hey, there's
That's
2
so cool.
badges on there. What's going on? Okay. I did see it.
Wow, your DLC
just so
trophy
funny.
is so tiny compared to the world trophy.
Yes.
Wow, that's
It's like half
insane.
the size. Yeah, it can just fit nicely in there. So that's so funny.
It's a double trophy.
Yeah.
You know what?
It was meant to be.
So at Worlds, did you actually get anything else? Like, since you're already at the Disney park, did they give you guys like guest passes to any of the parks?
Yeah, on Monday we had the Disney tour with all the staff. So yeah, we all went into the Disney World and we had a small tour, and then afterwards we could do whatever we want. And then we had a dessert party in the end, plus fireworks. Yes, it was really nice.
Oh, wow.
That's how you do it.
Did,
That's
so,
how
so
you
did
celebrate.
Ravensburger actually fly you guys in, like all accommodated and
Yeah.
everything?
I think they even said that in the thing. So yeah,
Wow, okay.
they in the stream. So yeah, we got flew in and so on. It's like
So
all the good stuff, that is similar to Yu-Gi-Oh! Words.
yeah,
We got all the good stuff and
I think I
good
got more.
bags and
I think I got more because
Yeah, of course.
the venue itself is already like infinitely better. Just saying.
I mean, technically, you have to see like this. Guys remember the words where they all complained, "Oh, this looks like a back room," when everybody played on like weird tables.
I was there.
I mean, the competition room was like a conference room, or like it was just a room, so it wasn't anything special. I mean, it is special that we were at Disney and so on, but
But like it's different. Like
it
Yu-Gi-Oh!
wasn't. The room itself wasn't crazy or something.
Well,
Just
I don't
saying.
like. It was probably not crazy until you basically got to the actual final stage. Like, the actual feature table was probably the only thing that was mainly like essentially a studio stage, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's usually what it is. But Yu-Gi-Oh was different because
Yep.
like they had these classrooms. Remember
Yeah.
that stream?
Yu-Gi-Oh is completely different.
Yeah.
At least with
Yeah.
Lorcana, you don't walk out with switches and air fryers.
No.
Okay,
I mean,
so
technically, you are running out of prize cards like in Yu-Gi-Oh, but they're much more worth, of course.
yeah, the value is way higher. So a little side question: food. Which one's better, Orlando or Vancouver?
I actually didn't eat that much in Orlando, food-wise. Like we were in Airbnb, and then we bought a lot of food beforehand, so we cooked quite often to save time to test. And yeah, but I would still say Vancouver, especially in Toronto. When I was there, also, I had the best pho in my life.
Okay,
there we go.
okay.
And yeah, in Vancouver, there was the chicken, right? That you
Yep.
told me about, Tom?
Yeah, Phnom Penh,
Yeah.
Phnom Penh wings. You
Hey
guys
man,
to
we
go.
have some
Yeah,
pretty good
there was-
Vietnamese restaurant here in Vancouver too.
Can't wait to see you again. Gotta treat you there. Okay, so all right, Jason, you had this one question. I'm gonna ask it anyway. So
Yeah, for sure.
as someone who wants to actually travel and compete, like how do you get the funds to do it? Is there some sort of secret to this?
Actually, no. So, of course, it is expensive to start traveling. If depends on your financial situation. But I started in DLC Bochum, and I said at that time I already committed to went from Yu-Gi-Oh to Lorcana and committed to it, and I just told myself I would try to go to every single DLC. At that time, I already traveled a bit for NA, YCS, and so on, which was also not cheap, right? Especially
Yeah.
you cannot really win anything there. So I was already committed for that. I knew the cost, so I knew I could handle at least the first NA DLC, and I got my Dallas Fort Worth ticket right then and there already. And then I went to DLC Bochum, and I only got a Lego basically, but the Lego was enough to fund like the next travel, and then I topped in Fort Worth, and Fort Worth top 16 funded the next 5 travels, right? So I knew already if I can break into the top or like break into the prize cards, I can just fund the next travels,
Okay.
and that's how I mainly did it. Yeah, I just went into the top card range back to back to back. Of course, that's not
easy.
always the thing.
Yeah.
That's not easy. That's definitely like a top end player's goal to use one event to fund to the next. I mean, you're we're not hoping for some secretness. Oh, by the way, I'm just rich anyway, so I'm just gonna fly no matter what. I'm just kidding.
Just
so
rich
you
and
earned, so
retired.
basically you earned your way through. Just topping back to back to back to back to get your funds to get to play. Like that's the thing. Like a lot of people are like, oh man, I can't afford to do it. Well,
Yeah.
I guess the answer is get good.
Get
Get good, so you can go back to back to.
If you wanna commit to the grind, so I mean, if you say I'm committing to going to every DLC, that means you are a competitive player by heart, and that means you are a grinder, right? And that means also that you have to put the time in to perform. And you cannot if you don't have the funds and you don't have the time to commit, then it is not a good idea, I guess, to try to hit every single DLC. Maybe take 1 or 2 and try your best. But yeah, if you have such a high goal and expectations to yourself, then of course you need to put in the time and
Makes sense.
the effort and the money to get there.
So like, let's just say if you were to win like a couple of DLCs before, like what exactly are you comfortable in selling? Like just the Let It Go or the Rapunzel or the Rapunzel Mad? Like what exactly, are you just doing the bare minimum just to get you by to the next events, or do you actually decide to keep some of this stuff?
Okay, when we are already talking about this, you guys want to see my prize cards?
Yeah, let's bring it out. Let's take a
So
look.
technically you can do that. The thing that you described with the selling things, like I'm not really attached to anything besides my Mickeys. But yeah,
It's a whole ton of
can show
graded
you.
cards
let's
over
take a
there.
look.
so first the word cards.
Oh,
we have the
okay. So you still have all
the
of them?
Mickeys. Oh yeah, I have all of them lying here.
That's crazy.
So the words, this is the normal one.
Yeah.
201. I'm actually not even. I have to admit, I'm a bit desensitized of normal Golden Mickey because I won 3 already.
It's true.
Oh, this is the 3rd one. I don't have the 4th one right now on me, but technically I have a playset on me.
Oh, you have a. Yeah.
I can play them. So this is the
Can
funny
you
thing.
imagine?
This is like the funny thing here. So I went to 2 continentals, right?
Yep.
I didn't top both, like the deep top cut, which is top 16 and then top 8 for the worlds ticket. So I missed out on these, but because of worlds, I actually got 2 of each.
Okay.
So now I'm basically redeeming my continental run.
Yeah, because in
else-
Worlds,
else-
wasn't it like
else.
every round that you won, you got your choice of that promo?
Not the choice, but you just got 1 more. So I think
One
the
more.
first round was 1 Cinderella,
Mhm.
1 Cinderella, and then the second win was Rapunzel, and then Cusco, and then Baymax, and then the 5th win was 1 whole new world on top.
Wow.
Oh.
That's like
this
easily
is-
like 100K sitting right at Din's desk.
You're crazy.
A bit more.
Yeah, there you go, a bit
There you
more.
go. A bit more than 100K right on the table right here.
Like that's a down
so-
payment right there.
Yeah, pretty much. The Mickey is actually quite expensive, the 1-1. But yeah, these are just. Oh, sorry. This is the words package that I got, and then because you asked me like how much I still have left, basically of the rest,
After selling all
I
that
have
stuff.
Mickey here.
Oh, you still have your Let It Go.
I bought 1 extra. Not
Oh, wow.
actually that many.
4. One full playset.
I have like 6 now. I think there are more here.
Oh, there's.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So I
So-
still have a bunch of Rapunzels here, a bunch of Legos, and these are from German tournaments that I won.
So essentially, if you do really well in this game,
Mm-hmm.
you will sustain yourself. And what a treat
Oh, yeah.
to actually get to see your little trove
Yeah.
of prize cards. Amazing.
It's not something you see every day, so
Like,
thank you.
Actually,
Thank you for that.
I like this is an extreme example, of course. Like no one else has so many prize cards. So
I mean, you definitely earned it. So
it's not the standard for the top players. I would say.
it's not like you're a collector going out there to buy it. This is like very different. This is like fought and earned.
Yeah.
Which is why it's, I think, has much more of a significance.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy, insane. Man, I got a funny question for you later on. But you know what? Let's change it up for a little bit now. Let's talk about Worlds gameplay. Like there are certain things that before the entire event, I think you voiced on Facebook about the sealed format, how it's super awkward. Like you were definitely voicing against it at the time. And I just want to know that now that you've played through that, what's your opinion on it now?
So first things first, I'm a really hardcore competitive player, and that means whatever format I have to play, I will play. But it doesn't mean that we cannot complain, right?
Yeah.
And the sealed thing is, it's still the same. Like I still have the same opinion about it. It is fun, especially testing for it. Like you just open new packs and then you build a deck and then you play it 1-2 rounds and then you do it again. Yeah, you just get the rush of opening packs, But now you're not looking for money hits, but you're looking for playable hits.
Right.
So this is like a different thing. It's actually quite changed my view on opening packs because right now, before I open packs and always look for the money hits really fast, right? But now I'm looking at every single card
What's playable?
and actually
what
try to evaluate.
strategizes the most.
Yeah, if it's playable for sealed, even though I don't play sealed. I'm looking at it, right? So yeah, that's quite fun. But yeah, the sealed format itself, it was fun to play, but not for words. For words, the issue is just it is so sacky. You win so many times because you or your opponent drew your bomb, like your ultimate bomb, and the other one doesn't have their bomb on field or the counter, and then you just straight up win. So for example, in the first round, I had the complete board control, and then I got wiped by the 6-cost green purple Hades. He says every single time in the opponent's turn when one of your characters gets banished, you gain 2 lore. So that means he slammed the Hades on board, quested out with all his small bodies, And what can I do? Like I couldn't counter race because his lore was higher. Like the lore bodies were bigger. He had like so many 2 lore bodies, but they're all small. So I could trade them easily. But he gained 2 lore each turn. So I was like, well, I lose to that. That's how I lost round 1. And afterwards, I won because of my own bomb, which is Mushu. It was a 5-cost red steel, ruby steel. He says if one of your other characters challenge, it gains resist +2. And if you banish your opponent's character, then you gain 2 lore on top. So you were able to challenge everything away. And gain 2 lore, so that was like unwinnable for them.
Everything becomes
And it just goes on like that. Yeah, like, but better, right? You gain 2 lore on top.
Yeah.
So they couldn't just quest anymore, and I can just quest while maintaining board control, and they can never do anything about it. And these kind of things happen a lot. Or there are also 2 cards that give evasive, Pixie Dust and Longboat, or like 2 items rather.
Tombox
So that means
Longboat.
yeah, you get. I have Longboat in my deck, and I drew it almost every game. Like, okay, sure. Not almost every game, but the crucial games I drew it, and then everything was evasive. And what can your opponent do sometimes? Because either you will trade down their evasive threats easily, or your stuff has evasive. Like for example, one time I had the 7-ink 3 lore body. It's a 7/7 7-ink 3 lore. I gave it evasive. Quest 2 times, I won. My opponent had the complete board control, but I just had that, and it was so weird. And yeah, overall, I think forwards was just not the correct choice. Of course, it shows skills and so on, but I think everyone at Worlds, the 28 players, know how to value trade, know how to pick the best bodies. It takes like, so I never played Seal, right? It took me like 2 days working with Kurt and Frank to learn Seals, good enough to win Worlds apparently. So you can learn it so fast. Like, I don't really see the reason to add it to the word format, because triple deck was already showing the mastery of all ink colors, right? Because you were forced to play all inks. So I don't really get why sealed out of nowhere, because we never ever had sealed before in any competitive format. We only had we didn't even had super sealed at any event. We only had like normal sealed, cow sealed or something.
Right.
Yes, the
Or
first
like just
time
regular
doing
draft.
sealed like that. And some of us at Worlds had such an insane pool. Like Zan, Frank, and Lucas Kauper, they had basically constructed decks. Like if you saw that, I don't know.
Someone had like Maui Half Shark with like a couple of other things.
Yeah, Lucas had
Yeah.
against Sailor, he had Genie, Elsa, Half Shark, Hades. I'm like, literally
Ruby Amethyst right there.
full power. Yeah, back to back. He played back to back out. I'm like, yo, that's actually crazy. What can you do against it? And yeah, my pool was so under average. Like I never had such a bad pool. Outside of Mushu and the evasive combat tricks, I had nothing. I had really nothing. And yeah, I just was so happy when the 3rd round was over. I was like, yes, constructed.
So was
Because
there ever
I
like
knew
a
if I-
time like you wanted to go second just for that extra card draw?
No, you don't want.
Yeah.
You don't want that. I mean, depends. If you think your opponent sided out all their high lore pips, high lore bodies out, yeah, maybe. But you don't want that, because going first in sealed is still crazy good, because you can just be the aggro deck and just raise your opponent quite often, or just build out the tempo way faster than your opponent. So no, the extra card doesn't really matter that much compared to the tempo, because if you just go like turn 1 maybe nothing, but turn 2 lore body, turn 3 evasive or something like that, and you just start questing, and you're like 6 lore ahead of your opponent, you will just win the race. And yeah, that is still crazy in sealed.
Okay. So definitely, you hope that next year doesn't happen again. Like, no more of this. Hopefully.
I hope so.
Well,
I hope
they have to listen to Din.
learn
He's
from the
now
feedback.
The world champion.
Yeah. Is that like essentially feedback that's shared among like all of your peers?
Yes, I asked almost everyone, and while they all said it's fun and so on, they didn't like that the sheer variance in the pools was just too crazy, because some of the people had like really tier 0 pools, while some just had one of the worst pools, or like just under the average, and that alone is just, I don't know. There's the skill at Worlds is given already. There's not such a skill gap where you can say, oh, I was so much better than my opponent in deck building and gameplay. It's just not possible.
Well, I just had the better cards
Yeah.
because you can't really stop me from getting the better cards, and it's RNG now. It's by chance.
I feel like it creates a really bad experience, like with players who
Especially
just lose just because of that, right? It's like,
especially at
Yeah,
like
one
a
more
event
thing.
that's like this prestigious event where you want to find the best of the best, but you're throwing like a die roll in there.
Yeah. So, and one more thing about that is, because how the Swiss rounds were structured, 7 rounds, and you needed to get 1 win, at least out of Swiss, out of the sealed portion. It makes you really, yeah, it makes you really dependent on your performance on the Swiss, on the sealed, sorry.
Yeah.
Because you needed to, win at least 1. But also because you started with that, I don't know. They should have just made it that the sealed portion didn't really determine if you make it in or not, but maybe a higher seed. That would be nice. But now with how they structured it, it was literally like your sealed performance determined a lot. And if you didn't start or 2-1, it was hard. Mo Shamblin made it. He started 0-2 and then won every single round afterwards, I think.
yeah.
So you can make it, but it's such a bad feeling when you even lose 1 time, because now oh, I need to win 5 out of 6 against the best players, and it
Didn't
doesn't
Ed
feel
go
great, right?
5-0 and he was done for the day?
Yes, Ed went 5-0, Zach and me went 5-1. So we were
Wow.
the first 3 to finish.
So it just sounds like it's so stressful to put so much on the line on something that you just had less control, like almost no control over. Yeah. Okay. But let's talk about like your color choices. You had your color choices. You have Amethyst Steel, of course, your signature Ruby Sapphire, and you went with Amber Emerald as your color choice. What's your strategy behind these choices, from strongest to weakest?
Yeah, so first I want the most obvious lineups were this lineup, and then Amber Steel and Emerald Amethyst, right? Green purple. So with this in mind, you already have basically 2 backup lineups that you can always rely on. But first, what we did, we tried out all the rogue lineups, something like Ruby Steel, Ruby Amber, Sapphire Amber, this kind of color combinations that are a bit more unique. And we just thought that Words gives these decks a chance to shine, and they are all good in what they did, but not outside of it. So if you didn't draw perfectly, or you didn't just hit the curve that the deck intended to, or didn't go into the situations you want them to be in, it was weird. So we just went back to the best 2 lineups, where Frank was really keen on the most obvious one with the Amber Steel, and I was still like, I like Amber Steel, I like Green Purple, but the issue was just from looking, just from watching them all test, and from the win rates in general, it felt a bit too much 50-50.
Right.
So I decided to go, okay, let's target a bit more, let's build a bit more specific, which the next lineup that was Amber Emerald and Amethyst Steel could achieve. And my target was Ruby Sapphire, or in general, slow Ruby decks or slow Sapphire decks, because every single player needed to run these colors, right? So
Yeah.
that was like a given.
And that's
And
probably
that
why we
means
saw
that-
so many players with aggro decks in weird colors too.
Yes, exactly. Like everybody knew pretty much that, everybody needs to play some kind of Ruby Sapphire or Sapphire Emerald or something like that, like slow Sapphire deck or Ruby decks, right? So I can hedge that and play like faster decks. So my first thought was playing hyper aggro Purple Steel, because I have a friend, Luminator, his name is Robert. He plays like this hyper aggro deck the entire time, and he knows how to build it perfectly. So I took his build. He gave me all the builds. But then the issue was I couldn't find the correct Amber Emerald deck. So I tried out Dogs, I tried out Discard, and both decks were okay. And technically, the Discard deck was really good against Ruby Sapphire, right? So it would actually fit into the lineup. But my issue was just sometimes I just brick, and even when I discard the entire hand, I still lost 5 times in a row against Candle. I was like, how does that happen? So that didn't work for me. So on Tuesday, 4 a.m. before Worlds, we were sitting there, Justin Shaft, Candle, and I were like, damn, nothing works. Well, what should we do? And then I was like, can I just play hyper aggro green yellow? Like, just I have to go first every single time, right? And I think that fits into every single bench plan, fits into every single lineup. And then I sat down. I had a plate because we didn't have paper, so I had a paper plate where you can eat food on, and just wrote on it. Unfortunately, I didn't brought it with me. I wish I would have it. I called it the plate of truth.
The plate of truth. Okay.
Yeah, I wrote down every single lineup that I was likely to face. There were like 8 or 7 or so on it, and then I just went through my head. Okay, if I'm on the play, on the draw, I bench, and then how the matchup will line up, like what will they pick and so on, and everything lined up because my purple steel deck was the broom deck. So I was like, wow, hyper aggro works, and we know already if you're always on the play and bench steel, what can really stop hyper aggro, right? So I was feeling really great. We didn't really build it at that night. I just went to bed because Robert said, yo, Tuesday is Disney World. We need a day off. And he paid us the VIP tour. So a VIP tour is literally, you get a tour guide and you get in any ride you want instantly. So it is expensive, but you can get in any ride multiple times even. Without waiting, like you have like an infinite lightning pass basically.
Oh wow!
So if you guys ever want to do that, take 10 people and do that. It's such a different experience.
Next time
because the heat
we're going to Cannes.
It's crazy. Yeah, if I would wait 2 hours in that heat, I would just I can't. So we just went in. We actually went into all 4 parks. We went into every single big ride. We went into 14 rides in 7 hours.
Wow.
So that was just crazy. Yeah, we basically did a 1-week Disney World trip in 1 day in 7 hours. So if you just calculate it up, technically it's really worth it. Mm-hmm. If you just don't want to spend 1 week in Disney World to wait for every single ride. So yeah, that was cool. And then when we came back at 11 p.m., we started testing. So 11 p.m. in the night until like 4 a.m. or so, and I kept losing with hyper aggro because I just threw in the deck myself. Like I didn't net deck because I couldn't find any good hyper aggro builds, so I just pulled stuff together. And funny enough, the son of Robert, the team owner, he's like 9, I think, or 11, roughly around that age. He's playing Emerald Amber hyper aggro, and Robert brought his deck for no reason.
Okay.
And then he gave me the core, and then I was like, wow, okay, I'm actually playing his son's deck. So we built the core with like because before I didn't play Cloud Kicker and Sven, so suddenly it was much better because the Cloud Kicker helped me to just bounce back something, have huge tempo, and still win. But the funny thing is, I still realized I was losing sometimes when my hand was slower against like all the targeting things, Elsa, Bruno, Muses, bouncing my stuff back or just targeting and exerting them, and then I just lose all my characters. And then I just typed in Ward in Dreamborn and put every single Ward character in. That was okay, right? So that's why I have Hera and Jetsamin. And my friends called me like, you're crazy. And then we're like, yeah, let's go, let's run it. And I could have optimized it even by, let's say, only playing 10 of the Ward characters instead of 12. But I was like, let's run it, all playset. Because I should have also included maybe like the 3-cost lady and maybe some 1 or 2 else.
Right.
I mean, you can always do that, but I was just like, let's run it. Let's go. Yeah, everything Ward 12, because they are insane finishers, right? If you just start fast. Because I have 21 drops. Like, so turn 1, 1 drop, turn 2, 2 1 drops, turn 3, you can play one of your 3 lore buys like Piglet or Olivia Flaversham. And then another 1 drop, then you can just quest out, and then you reach like 15 lore plus, and then you play out the ward characters and you just finish off. And that's how I kept winning suddenly, so I knew that worked. And then we worked on the Broom deck. Justin Schaff gave me his build. I literally changed one card. I changed one card, so I basically net decked the deck. And my Shark deck, I just tacked around. So my lineup had the 3 assumptions. First, the Hyper Aggro was winning on the play all the time, which it did, if I don't break, of course. Then the second assumption is I'm really confident in the mirror, and I win most of the time in the mirror, which I did during testing. Even when my teammates were playing the same deck, I were still doing the better lines most of the time. And yeah, I'm just confident in my Shark deck. I have so many reps in it. That's why I brought it also. And then the third assumption is the purple steel deck, the Broom deck, is really strong on the draw. Plus, it crushes every single Emerald deck or / Diablo deck, which it also did. It's so insane against Diablo decks, even on the draw. So that's why I covered everything. So if you just think about it, if I bench steel, what's left? Normally, on average, Ruby Sapphire and some kind of Diablo deck or like green purple tempo deck ish, something like that, right? And I'm good into the mirror. Both my aggro decks are good into the mirror, into Ruby Sapphire. And my against Diablo deck, my purple Seer is really good. My hyper aggro is really good on the play against it. And my Shark deck is kind of 50-50 against it, but good enough because I can still, if I lose that matchup, I can still go for the mirror. So I covered everything with that lineup. So I was like really, really confident. There was some card choices that I regretted. For example, I played Brawl, even though I knew and always said in my masterclass and in coaching, Brawl is not good for Diablo. I still ran it because I benched Steel. So I was like, okay, I don't need Goof to beat Smee, but still, Goof is still so good against the green purple tempo deck, which I almost regretted not playing. But in the end, it was still fine. But I should have played Goof over Brawl, like 100%. Also for the lore gain. But else, I was really happy with everything else. The Broom deck was just built so well from my friend Justin. And I just changed one card I kicked the Genie. I was at 3 Genies, 2 Snake, but I wanted more bounce action, like repeating or bouncing back Yensid and replaying him on turn 4. So Snake is 2, Yensid is 2, so you can do a turn 4 play. That's really cool. That's my lineup and the story behind it. And I was really happy in general about the entire theory and how it went. It just went smooth because you can see it, right? I lost my first round in sealed, and then afterwards I won every single constructed portion, 3-deck portion. So worked really well.
And I was actually just curious about one thing. So I noticed that like on the 3 decks that you picked, I don't believe there was any set 8 cards at all.
Yes, exactly.
Why was that?
Any set 8 card.
There was just nothing appealing, nothing meta-defining that you felt like, or what was the reason?
Oh, it's not really that. So when it comes to deck building, you are not really looking at the sets, but at the cards themselves, right? And my Shark deck was already such refined. It is just a strong constructed deck in general, but also like for this format, what really changed for a Shark deck? Nothing really, because the Shark deck was really proactive, was really just doing its thing. And if you do its thing, you just straight up win. Like you saw it on the stream, I double mana.
You just did
there was one
do.
game. Yeah, like you didn't see the one match against Federico off stream. I quadrupled mana him. I played 4 manas against him in really rapid succession. So it was like turn 3 mana, turn 4 mana, and then turn 5 and turn 6 mana or something, or turn 6 and turn 7 mana. Like it was really quick back to back. So yeah, it just does its thing. I don't need anything out of set 8 for that deck is really gimmicky, like re-reading stuff and so on. Like we had that kind of effect already and we didn't play it, so why should add it now? Like the Lilo and the action or the Song of the Beers doesn't make sense. And then looking into the hyper aggro, the only card that I wanted to add was Lady, the set 8 card, but Kurt talked me out of it. In hindsight, I should have played Lady, but it was okay. He said it's just a worse 1-drop, but I should have kicked like some of the ward characters for ladies, like maybe 2 Lady or something, just to have like a faster turn 3 sometimes. And in the Broom deck, everything was just perfect. There's not a single set 8 card that you normally would run in constructed for the Amethyst or Steel deck, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess
So
like,
yeah,
what
I
about
just couldn't find anything.
The Jafar Cobra, the illusion.
That is the Jafar Cobra? You mean the Giant Cobra?
Yeah, the giant cobra.
That's set 7.
So set 7, that's right. Totally
Yeah.
forgot. So I guess like to segue into the next subject then, like based off of like the 3 decks that that you used didn't have any set 8. What do you think about rotation then in that case?
Yeah, rotation will be great for that because the set powers were quite low in since set 4. I would say, of course, we got many great cards in 5, 6, 7, but it just gets lower and lower because they cannot really. So there's 2 things behind it, right? So they either print weaker cards, like right now, because they cannot just print the same cards, or they print better cards than we already have. And imagine a better Rapunzel, imagine a better B-Prep and so on, right? Imagine better bounce package deck. If you do that, you just literally break the game.
Yeah.
Because
like
then you
Yu-Gi-Oh!
have like a tier 0 deck, like the blue steel deck that was tier 0. It was the first like true tier 0, like the thing we had in Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically. If there was a DLC pre-ban, I can assure you every single pro would play blue steel.
Yeah.
And just run. I would
Deck was
run
insane.
blue steel.
Eight
and,
upstart goblins.
yeah, it's not even that. It's not even upstart goblin. It is it's literally +1.
Yeah.
The people think it's just upstart goblin +0, but it is the +1 because the item's on board.
Yeah, because
you can use
Hiram and
Bell
all
with that. You
right?
can use Scrooge with that. You can use Hiram with that.
Yeah.
Like that is
Yeah.
actually a +1.
Then Tamato,
So-
the lucky. Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. Tamator, Lucky Dime, one-shot your opponent out of nowhere. It's just too much. And so rotation is the thing that we need because else we have one-trick guys since set 1, right? Like, there were people who played Ruby's Amethyst since set 1. They would continue to do that. And if you look at sales like that, like these people pay like $5 each set. And
They
for
buy
example,
singles,
me,
right?
if
They don't
without
even need to
words,
buy product.
yeah, I remember in set 6, 7, 8, I outside of the shark thing and Tamator, or I remember in set 5, I paid like $1 to get T-Pose and Vision. I'm like, they were bulk, so I got them even for free. So I was like, okay. The entire set 5, I got like $1, and I had literally the best meta deck. Because Ruby 7 was probably the best deck at that time.
Oh, yeah.
And afterwards, I needed Shark, sure. And afterwards, I needed Tamatoa, sure. But outside of that, I barely need anything. And if you look into other colors, they barely need anything. And it just sums up, like just goes up. And rotation helps a lot because it forces us to be creative again. It forces us to
There's just so
spend
many
a bit
other
more money.
cards that are not utilized right now that does have
Exactly,
potential,
like,
but gets overshadowed by other cards that are just so much better, right? At the moment.
Yeah, set 1 to 4 was so strong that
Very
if you
strong.
just look at the meta, we basically had the same meta since set 4. Like the same tier 1 decks. And the only addition was basically green purple, but else and blurple. And else the decks were still the same. We still have the Ruby, Sapphire, Amber Steel, discard decks. Like they were still the same. The green yellow discard decks literally the same since set 4.
And I think Ruby Amethyst didn't change a couple sets too back, right? They just stayed the same.
Yeah, until they got the shark thing.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Got quite popular in set 7. But yeah, else. Yeah. But in general, I can say I'm still so proud that I got both trophies. I basically won with my own deck, right? I handcrafted the shark deck, won both trophies with that. Really proud that I could bring my shark deck to Worlds and perform there. And yeah, it is also known as the DKP deck, right? Like,
Of course.
where you ever have heard that? It's like
It is
just
your
awesome, yeah?
deck. People are net decking you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
And they are still performing with that. So
Yeah,
it's really
no.
cool.
It's crazy. So now we're gonna go for some quick rapid fire questions. Let's kind of take it easy here on the first one. Okay, who do you think was most underrated player at Worlds? Do you have
Most underrated player at Worlds?
They overperformed. They performed better than you thought.
They performed better than I thought. I mean, for that, I need to look at the top 8. I mean, they're all phenomenal players, so it's really hard to say who performed. I guess myself.
Most
I
underrated.
didn't really expect
DKP.
to have such a great run.
Underdog.
Okay.
Because if I think about it, like it is crazy. Like I just played game for game, so I didn't really realize how far I was actually am. Like when I won my last round to get in, I didn't realize immediately that I was in. Like in my head, I was still like, okay, I need to play one more match. But then it hit me and like, oh, I'm already in. Nice.
Okay.
But yeah, I played one by one, and I didn't realize that I actually went like back to back 5-0 because I lost the first round and 5-0 afterwards against the best players. So that's actually amazing.
It's crazy.
I didn't expect that. I mean,
Okay.
to be honest, I expected every single one in the Worlds run to be able to reach top 8. I would say just from looking at the deck list, because I saw some deck lists before. I think all the weaker lineups where they ran like Ruby Amethyst, I didn't expect them to perform well, but we had 2 of them in the top 8, so I guess I was wrong.
So
But I didn't expect them to perform that well.
Okay. So let's flip the question around. Who do you think is the most overrated player at Worlds?
Overrated?
I'm just messing with you. You don't have to answer this question. It's like throwing shade at people. Oh yeah, that player sucked.
I'm just trying to stir the pot.
I'm just giving you hard questions that you don't want to answer. Okay. Out of curiosity, what's the highest offer you got for your one of one Mickey? I'm pretty sure people threw offers at you immediately, so you can give us a ballpark. You don't have to give us the exact amount.
Let's say on the lower end of the 6 figures
Oh wow.
for now.
For
USD,
There
I assume.
there were some other things I could have accepted, but yeah, around that corner.
So it's funding your
But
dream
it
car.
were the first offers, so yeah. What'd you say?
It's funding your dream car. It's like you're going to your Ferrari fund. Just
No, I'm actually not. I'm actually keeping it
Of
as
course.
long as I can, because
Of course.
I have to say this card here, I put so much effort in, and it means more to me sentimentally than the money is worth.
Of course.
So I know if I sell it right now, I will regret it. So I won't. And that's a cool detail here. You can see in the slab.
Oh, that is cool. It has your name on it.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Ooh. That's very exclusive. That's very
Very
exclusive.
exclusive, yeah.
Okay, so that was
It
one
is
of the
what you mind.
that was one of the fun questions. Now, this is something that's for the audience. We wanted to know what's going on in your coaching session because now that you've gotten your world championship title, I'm pretty sure it's like Michelin stars. You can bump up the charge rate of just messing with you. Okay, so what is your coaching sessions like? Can you give us like a small taste of what people can expect in your coaching sessions? Because now there's a ton of people reaching out, but some people are always going to be wondering, are coaching sessions even worth it?
Yeah.
So I want to hear from the world champion.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, my coaching sessions are basically right now my Discord channel, where I offer tips and tricks and so on for the more lower tiers, offer content. But for my highest tier, which is my Mickey Hunter tier, I call the group Mickey Hunters.
Hunting golden Mickey.
We try to hunt Mickeys. Yeah, exactly. And the highest tier is called Mickey Hunter, and there we do weekly sessions. So right now we are doing 5 sessions per week. Normally I do 3, but yeah, because of my words thing, I went up to 5 for 2 weeks. And we do like 2 to 4 hours just learning the game, because right now my goal is trying to get my students to a certain base level to prepare them for the rotation, so we can start deck building. Because in my opinion, the deck building portion, or like to increase really efficiently and really fast, you shouldn't concentrate on deck building but on gameplay. Because whatever you build, it doesn't matter if you play at the tournaments and you throw once or twice, it's over. Like, doesn't matter how good your deck is. And this is a crucial thing. We have a lot of great deck builders, and also they have me, right, as coach. So I can just give them a deck and they need to concentrate on the gameplay. So that's my main focus right now in terms of coaching. Before, when I did one-on-one coaching, people just went on and just said, hey, can you help me building the deck? And then I just asked them a few questions. I just realized immediately, okay, they are not gameplay, their gameplay is not good enough, but they still want to do deck building. But sure, let's do that. You paid for that, but I don't want to do that anymore. That's why I created Discord.
Okay.
I want to do it in my tempo. So technically, I ignore some wishes of my students to deck build. I'm just saying no, we don't go that route. We go my route. So you can learn way more efficiently and learn it step by step to just be a good and solid TCG player. Like I'm saying TCG player, not even Lorcana player, but then
So
you
you
can
would say
branch out
that
to Magic or
whatever
something.
you're teaching in your Discord group is transferable to other TCG games.
Yes. So I try to teach them the concepts of Lorcana, like value trading and so on. Like for example, how I learned the game really fast is I played Magic a bit, I played Terra, I played Hearthstone, right? All the skills transferred into Lorcana, and then I just speed up the process by knowing how to test and so on from Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Itself doesn't help in Lorcana at all, right? Like it doesn't help at anything. So yeah, I knew the processes. I developed concepts for myself, how to test and so on, and work ethics from Yu-Gi-Oh! That was fine. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to teach. And coaching in general is a thing that is a bit looked upon because, of course, you can learn everything yourself. I learned everything myself, so why should people pay me for that? And the thing is just, if you are a student or in a phase of your life where you have a ton of free time, then you can learn it yourself. But many people, especially my students, have families, have obligations, have work. So they come home, they maybe have like 2 to 4 hours to play Lorcana, but they still want to get to a level where they are winning and have fun, because winning is fun. In the end of the day, right? They want to compete and they have the money, but they don't have the time. So now what I do is I delete the trial and error, what they have to do normally, let's say, or I reduce it. I'm not deleting entirely, I'm reducing it by like, I don't know, 60%, 80%, depends on how fast they get all the topics.
It's pretty significant.
And then, yeah, they still need to put in the time, of course, because they are playing as players like me, like Zan, Ed, who have thousands of hours in TCGs. So of course you need to catch up somehow, but with my help, they can avoid like doing the same mistakes for weeks until they get it, like, and it's just fasten up the process. So that's my coaching basically. And since Word, of course, I got a significant spike in interest. I already had a lot of students before, but now I got like a lot of new students, and they all want help. Of course, they also want just to support me, so they subscribe. So yeah, I'm really grateful for that, and I'm here to help, and yeah, that's my coaching.
Oh, there you have it, Din's masterclass, everyone. So, don't worry, we'll have all your links and stuff here in the bio for people who want to check you out as well. So, not a worries on that. We got you covered.
All right. Yep. Well, I guess to kind of get to our closing out piece here. So, are there any plans on next season DLC? Actually, do you even need to attend DLCs? Do you get because as the world champion, does Lorcana seed you at Worlds next year?
So far, no, nothing.
So you
there
have
was
to
nothing announced.
So you're not like the defending champ or anything.
Yeah, there was nothing announced yet. Maybe they do it later on. I don't know. Maybe they decide to do it, but right now I got nothing. I know nothing about that. So yeah, it's a bit sad, but I still plan, even if not, I still plan to travel for the DLCs because new promos, right? And I really want the Elsa. Like the Elsa looks so nice. I want the playset of her.
Okay, but what are your thoughts about like most of the DLCs being in Asia?
Yeah, that's a pretty hot
That's a pretty big difference now.
Yeah.
Not many people
so
are
technically,
happy.
Yeah, so it is not great that we got reduced. 3 DLCs is a bit rough, especially because one of the 3 is Infinity. So if they would have done 4 of each, I think everybody would be fine. But 3 and 1 being Infinity is a bit rough. I have to say one thing for that is I traveled a lot, right? So everybody know I travel a lot. I did a lot. But in the end of the day, I only attended, quote unquote, only 3 NA, 3 European, and 1 Australia DLC. So technically, I attended as many as there will be next season.
Right.
And people consider my traveling a lot, or rather, I was the most.
I do consider that a lot.
Yeah.
Actually.
DLC, right? Yeah, but I'm just saying. So with me, if you take me as example, 3-3-1, which is basically the same as next season because there's also 3-3 and 1 in Melbourne or in Australia. I don't know where, but yeah, it's basically the same, right? So, but still, I get the frustration.
Yeah.
We just had more DLCs before.
Yeah.
From the marketing standpoint, it is still probably good because now they are branching out, going up from 11 to 16 DLCs. Just from the corporate side is massive. We can't forget they have to budget and everything. But of course, for the player perspective, it's not great. I'm also not really happy about traveling so often to Asia for all the DLCs. Because of course, I try to attend as many as possible again. But I don't know if I would actually take every single Asian one. But yeah, I try to.
Do you feel like there'll
if
be
it's
like any
possible.
language barriers traveling over there, playing the game, or just, going there in general?
Actually, no. Even the Japanese Grand Prix, even though they say, oh, you should or you have to communicate in Japanese and so on, there was not a single instance where anyone was punished. There were some American guys like Dick Burns, for example. He spoke zero Japanese, I think. Oh no, it wasn't Dick Burns. It was someone else. He spoke zero Japanese, and
Someone
apparently
from Forbidden
a judge
Mountain.
was called on him. Yeah, I don't. I think he can speak Japanese, but there was someone else. I don't remember who, but there was someone else, and apparently the judge was called upon him because he couldn't speak Japanese, and the judge told him like, just play the game.
Being a rule shark, dude.
Yeah. So apparently that worked out. And my friend, my German friend, also went there. He spoke a bit Japanese, but he also says like it wasn't needed at all. He only learned basically how to communicate inside the game. Like you can learn you can learn the game actions in that language, right? But that's not so much effort to do. So that should be fine because outside of that, normally you don't really speak much in the other language, right? And technically, I could spend an entire English DLC saying nothing because most of them I also only tap for my effects and everybody gets it immediately, right? And yeah.
Because I know there in some cases, especially in like larger scale tournaments, there are some players that do have issues with not announcing what you're doing. So that's why I brought it up.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Technically, since you don't have to announce triggers in Lorcana, doesn't really matter, but yeah.
Okay, so it's not an actual thing where like you have to announce every single thing that you're doing.
No, so I mean, you have to announce what you're resolving to let your opponent know what you're
Right,
doing,
and
but
what's
you
in
can
the
also
bag,
show
right?
it.
It's like Pete, man. Pete
Yeah,
was
what's in
like,
back, but
Pete
you're
was
not declaring chain links or something because we had that issue in Melbourne, right, in top 8.
Yeah.
So the ruling is literally you don't have to announce triggers. They go automatically in the bag, and you just need to announce if you want to resolve them or not. And yeah, that's it. So
there you have it, guys. You don't have to announce anything except what you're triggering. So there you go. You can't get real shark there.
So any plans on visiting YCS Vancouver? The one that's coming up.
No.
It's
No.
like, come with your friends. Your friends are gonna be here. Okay, but
you have to pay me for me to visit YCS right now.
Yeah, so that's the biggest difference. I'm pretty sure you've made infinitely more playing Morgana compared to Yu-Gi-Oh! At least you don't have to get the air fryer.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Just looking at your prize card, that was more than enough to kind of tell us what's going on already. Any chance of you playing Yu-Gi-Oh? Just be honest.
I mean, I'm actually out of the loop when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I was always really fond of the formats where you have mid-range decks and hand traps. It's fine with that. But the hand trap which I'm watching right now, like sometimes like the 20 hand trap plus decks, I'm like, I can't do that anymore, guys.
Welcome
like right now, I'm playing at least 12 rounds or so each match.
Traps, one combo starter.
I just had to throw that question in there. MST Tombox, kind of snuck out here. But you know what? That's all I have for this one, guys. Smash that thumbs up button for DKP.
Please
Check
do.
the links down in the description. If you guys wanted to get some coaching, well, DKP, world champion, is ready to take you on as a student. As long as you're willing to learn at his pace. He's not going to try to, give you your version of a coach. He's gonna be the best version of his own coach for you, and that's gonna be down in the description there.
Only in the highest tier though.
Yeah, this is like,
there-
this is the best of the best.
I'm really trying to get the best out of them and really efficient and really fast.
So I'm gonna pass the floor to you. Is there anything else you want to tell the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, shout outs to my team, World Class Cards. They're just awesome teammates. So we will crush the next season too. I'm pretty sure about that. And if you wanna also join our beautiful community, look in our Metafy, metafy.gg/WCC. You will get like exclusive things there, content, goodies, and there's one special thing. One of the founder guys even went with us to Disney World on Tuesday, so that was also nice. Yeah, just join our Metafy, and we will welcome you there.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dinh Khang Pham, for joining us
Thank you
here
so
on
much.
the Incasters Den. If you guys enjoyed this video, again, smash the thumbs up button, subscribe, ding that notification bell, and we will see you all in the next one.